Recording
really
in
that we have
progress.
been looking forward to for quite a while, because we as provinces really have been having a problem, and as a Department of Health in particular, we have been struggling. And I think that presentation came very through from the ministers, deputy ministers' presentation. So we are very excited by the fact that you are giving us this opportunity. The province of KwaZulu-Natal, Chair, has a total of 68 hospitals, 24 community health centers, and 587 fixed primary healthcare clinics. These healthcare facilities are responsible for attending to healthcare needs of more than 11 or 12 after the census will be confirmed, 12 million people and more than 24 million visits each year. And these are people who require various kinds of medical attention in line with the quadruple burden of disease that our province is faced with. The implementation of load shedding, irrespective of the stage at which it is being implemented, has a negative impact on healthcare services, critical clinical services. The strategies that we have put in place to mitigate the impact of load shedding have I think that it's it is a the last
Recording in progress.
There are operational areas that remain non-functional during load shedding. And these include critical areas such as operating theaters and radiological equipment. Let me then make a case study, Chair, for members. Maybe that will give a proper picture and sense of what we are faced with. I will take one hospital in the province called Nkosi Albert Luthuli Central Hospital. This hospital, Chair, is a highly specialized hospital, for example, which has very complex equipment that is highly technical and consumes large volumes of power. It is therefore impossible to have all the equipment connected to emergency generators at once when there is load shedding. There is therefore a huge negative impact on service delivery, and this compromises the patient care that we are providing. I also want to just then break down in Nkosi Albert what it means on a day-to-day basis when we don't have electricity or when we have load shedding. Out of 16 theaters that we have, only 4 can operate or can function during load shedding, leading to severe delays and cancellation of theater operations. 2 laboratories which we use to diagnose or treat heart conditions, as well as 2 angiography suites for neurovascular and vascular interventions, do not function at all during load shedding. A fully equipped radiology department with 2 CT scanners, 2 MRI scanners, 2 fluoroscopy units, 6 units of general digital X-ray, and 8 C-arms also do not function during load shedding. Furthermore, oncology services can only be rendered with 1 PET scan, 1 planning CT scanner, and 3 linear accelerators, all of which do not work when there's no electricity. All of this means that appointments for patients will have to be cancelled or are often cancelled when there is no electricity and there's load shedding. Furthermore, when the PET scan doesn't work and patients have already been injected with the radioisotopes, which cost 8,000 rands per dose, we are forced to incur fruitless and wasteful expenditure because a patient will then have to come back on a different day and will have to be re-injected so that the operation or the process is able to be implemented. As a result of load shedding, the waiting time for MRI scans have increased to approximately 12 months because when there is an outage, there is no MRI services. Only ultrasounds do function during load shedding. These bedside units, which are rechargeable, are used for as long as there is battery life. Let me speak to the impact of load shedding on generators themselves. Following the escalation of load shedding from stage 2 and 3 in 2021-2022 financial year to stages 4 to 6 in the current financial year, there has been a sharp increase in the rate of generator breakdowns, therefore a sharp increase in the expenditure, and the expenditure that has not or that was not budgeted for. This is partly because these generators have to be functional over longer periods of time than what they were designed for, and more frequently on a day-to-day basis. Furthermore, due to our increased reliance on the use of generators, the projected annual expenditure on the cost of fuel has almost doubled from 127 million rands during the 21-22 financial year to 224.9 million rands for 22-23 financial years. Along with the escalation of load shedding, the cost of maintenance of the generators has also increased from 11.3 million in the whole of the 21-22 financial year to 20.2 million rands at the end of November in 2022. This includes the cost of scheduled services and servicing and repairs to the generators. Additional expenditure to the value of 26 million is expected to be incurred in repairs and maintenance work for the balance of the financial year ending in March 2023. This will bring the total expenditure for maintenance to 46 million rands during the 23-24 financial year. And that is something, what that means in this sense is that we are going to have to move funds around and cut from an area that was budgeted for us to be able to afford this increase suddenly on the maintenance of the equipment. Chairperson, from April to July last year, healthcare facilities in the eThekwini district were completely exempted from load shedding. This is as a result of the floods that we had and the engagement between the provincial government and NCOP. However, from the 1st of August 2022, this was modified to partial exemption during stages 1 to 3, which is still in place. However, we also have 3 facilities that are exempted, and those are Grace Hospital, Herikwala Regional Hospital, and Ladysmith Hospital. We've had engagement with the executive of NCOP, trying very hard to get our facilities or our hospitals in particular to be exempted. We've not been successful in other areas. However, we are now having discussions, and with those discussions, the executive from NCOP are agreeing to consider all possible options. And one of these options is to alter the electrical infrastructure in such a way that the electricity feeds directly from the power grid to these hospitals, so that, according to them, the hospitals can then be exempted. However, as NCOP has indicated that the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Health will have to come up with a funding strategy to support these initiatives, because they say we must support them, these initiatives ourselves. I must indicate that the average cost of this exercise is about 4 million rands per hospital and about 144 million for the 36 facilities that form part of it. Chair, I'm running out of time. We are currently also investigating the feasibility of implementing alternative sources of energy. And in doing so, we are looking at an issue of putting in our facilities electrical inverters, solar power system, and wind turbines, so that, just to mention but a few, the pilot projects that we are going to be starting on are a number of hospitals. Chair, I will provide you with a list so that members can go through it, and we hope that this project will be completed by September 2023. While we are being hopeful that the pronouncement that was made by the President, Chair, in relation to all facilities being exempted will be implemented. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC Simelane, from KwaZulu-Natal. I'll now invite Honorable MEC Dr. Ramotuba from Limpopo Province. Doctor.
Thank you.
They will
we the this electricity breakdown. So that even if as I've indicated, our theater equipment also high care units and also ICU. And then the third other way, besides the two, the generators and the UPS, we also have got rechargeable lights. Mainly these ones for Mopani, we have 105 there. For those clinics that I've indicated are struggling, mainly PHC facilities, so that they can have these rechargeable solar lights that they are using. Especially some of the clinics which continue to render 24-hour service, even despite the fact that we have not procured generators for them. But of course, coming to the question that we were asked today to say, having said all those things that we use as a province to mitigate the load shedding, we still have got impact, a serious impact, especially on the stand power. I think colleagues have already raised some of this issue and the Deputy Minister. Usually, we, under normal circumstances, we've got our scheduled maintenance. The LDOH units, our standby units, the general capacity, with the 1,000 liters, we are estimating power supply for 136 hours, meaning 5 days. That's the current, the prior, this whole stage 6 and 4 came in. And for operations now, we need to top up the fuel, the oil, the water, and the weekly testing and maintenance, and 250 hours, which is equivalent to 10 to 11 days. This is of standby that we are using annually. So what used to happen, you could see in the past, we were also surviving with our own reserve tank for diesels, where we would load around 4,000 liters, and we've been able to succeed. But with the current increase of the load shedding stages, it's gonna be difficult, even if I give you these hours and these liters, because it becomes non-functional. The 11 days has drastically been reduced. Our 1,000 liter, it's no longer taking us for 136 hours or 5 days. Actually, with the regular 4 to 6 load shedding, the units are now running like they're their prime source of energy in our facility. So the load shedding on its own has affected water supply in our hospitals and clinics. Many of our clinics are dependent on boreholes, if not 90% of them, because they are in rural areas where the community does not even have water themselves. So the boreholes are dependent on electricity for pumping. These are the clinics which do not have generators, some of them. So with the load shedding, we can't pump water. These are clinics that are running deliveries. So that's why we need more generators and we need more alternative power supply, because it's a serious problem. Our chiller plants and our air conditioners in theaters also, not only do they require power, energy, equally some of them, some of the equipment in our theater, they need more water with pressure. So when you do not even have, sometimes municipalities affected to supply water, like in Petersburg, municipality is affected by load shedding to supply us with water. And on top of it, with our boreholes in Petersburg, the pressure is not the same as the water coming, or with the tanks, when the municipality give us water using tanks. It doesn't have the pressure that our water which comes through our system would have, which is required, especially in areas like theatre. Our fridges and our freezers, the food for medicine, and the vacuum pump, our high-tech technology equipment, it's not lasting on a chair because it has direct impact on that. We can go on that. It's also that are no longer able to do elections or something when I was busy. The first you are asked, why did you take the patient to theatre? Not for the patient at that particular time. So these are some of the issues that is making the surgical backlog to prolong, Honorable Chair. This week, we have declared it to be a week where we wanted to clear the surgical backlog, especially orthopedic cases as a result of our festive season. But I can tell you the challenges that I was still complaining to say, when there is load shedding, sometimes the doctors are really worried to say, when the generator kick in, you are not really working with them. Go wrong. We don't want to put our clinicians to work under that particular environment. The high care and intensive units have already indicated, and we also hot water. Our renal dialysis, it's a serious problem and challenge. Patients who come for dialysis, they come 3 times a week and they stay for the whole day. So when there is load shedding, it's a problem. These are patients who will moving from Palapura or Tawazini to Petersburg Hospital, and then only to be welcomed with load shedding. It becomes really a problem. And ultimately, it's having serious negative impact on our service delivery. As I've already indicated that while we have challenges in health, load shedding has deepened the crisis that we're trying to deal with. We try to come up with augmentation plan as the department to say, and we need to increase the number of generators, even though they come with their own another baggage to say, when you increase generator, you must also find money for the diesel, money for the fuel. You must also find money for their regular maintenance, because you're no longer going to maintain them like you used to do when they were working as standby generator, because now they are no longer standby generator. If you are in 36, they become the main source of power supply. So we also are looking at the clinics, all our clinics, if they can have at least between 25 and 50 kVA, and also our healthcare center can have up to 100 kVA, and the hospitals, depending on the number of beds, we will continue to do that. So we are also working with the municipality for them to approve our diesel bulk storage design, because the municipality, rightfully so, it's very strict when it comes to the approval of the diesel bulk storage, because you should understand this is highly flammable, and they must satisfy. Yes, they must satisfy themselves that we are not going to ban the hospital. So otherwise, what we have been, the deputy minister has already presented which facilities are exempted, which are not. Honorable members will go through the report where we have indicated why this one is not exempted, because it's sharing the line with all those. So what we are appealing is that we have also shown you how many generators are we going to procure, and well, also yesterday the Premier has already pronounced to say we must also work with other sectors, including our leader, so that we can be assisted and priority in terms of solar panels and energy. We should be prioritized. We are in the disaster period as a result of load shedding. Just like we put a lot of energy and effort as a nation, led by the president himself to fight COVID-19, and our resilience has helped us to win it. I think even load shedding the similar way, and health must be prioritized, because with the health, when you postpone that theater case, the patient might die. When you operate without a reliable machine, the patient will die. And when patients are dead, there's no alternative, or there's no priority to be given. But in health, we do not have a chance of, we believe that health facilities, all of them must be exempted, and municipality, together with the Department of Health and Public Works, must put money in making sure that all hospitals have got a special connection line of water and electricity coming straight, not interfering with the community. Because when community shares these lines with us, whether it's water, whether it's electricity, we have got a problem, and other facilities can't be exempted based on that. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Motuba. Hopefully, the Minister of Finance will respond tomorrow to some of the plea in terms of making sure that more budget is available to address some of the challenges experienced by different provinces.